Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Broken Roads with me, Merredin. Let's begin meandering through Meridan.
What's wrong now?
His jaw tenses as you approach. One of your elders want you back in Corda soon. I still haven't found what Conk asked me to find. Until then, he won't mind me staying away. He knows I've got my own life to lead. What do you think makes someone a good leader? Knowing your values and sticking to them. And treating people with respect, of course. I reckon you could take a bit of a hard look at yourself, eh? As an example of a good leader? Or because I need to self-reflect and improve? So, tell me about yourself. I grew up on the coast south of here, and it kind of took me a while to see that the people I was living with weren't so good for me. One day I had enough, I just started walking. I took jobs as I went. I didn't really know where I was going. Someplace better, I hoped. Then I ran into Ngama, and he introduced me to Conk Koya. Conk saved my life. He taught me the value of community. He showed me that if someone cares about you, really cares, they do it with more than just words. Even the way he drinks the cups of tea I make him helps to warm my heart. How are you holding up? He scoffs. Like you give us stuff. Do us both a favor. Don't pretend we're mates, alright?
Order.
I'm not sure why he doesn't like me. He strikes me as a bit of a humanist. She looks up from some bit of accounting or stock take. What's on your mind? So, tell me about yourself. Small town girl dreams of moving to the big smoke. Sees her home get burned to ash. As she wakes up at night, knowing what the big smoke actually looks like. She smiles briefly. I've got it better than most. My life was already half on the camel cart. More if I'm honest. I didn't have so much to lose. Mom's taken it pretty hard, but I can buy her almost anything she misses. I wish I could have convinced her to move to Meridan yonks ago. A long time, could be 5 minutes or 20 years. What do you think makes someone a good leader? She frowns. Compassion. Funny because she was so willing to abandon everybody back in Brookton. I'd appreciate if you could take a little more time to think things through, if I'm being honest. What's it like running a barter crew out of Merredin instead of Brookton? It sure is different. A lot more competition, and a lot more cross-pollination of stock. I've even seen stuff from the East Coast. Cost an arm and a leg. We had no hope of carrying, let alone selling, that kind of stock in Brookton or Outerside. Maybe the election will shake things up. Angela takes a cut of every sale, which Hogan is campaigning against. He hasn't proposed an alternative either. How you holding up? Just doing what I always do. She gives you a look that's meant to convey some meaning you don't quite understand. Bye. Keep your compass handy. That would be Paul Hogan, would it? He gives you a nod. Thanks for looking out for my parents back in Brookton, mate. You're solid in my book. Just as glad about her mum, too. Both their families owe you a debt that we'll be quick to repay, as soon as we can. What do you think makes someone a good leader? Doing what's right, for everyone, not just whoever you're with at the time. Don't worry, mate. You're solid in my book. So, tell me about yourself. It's a bit of a long one. I grew up in Brookton, but Mum and I used to travel a lot. A good doctor is always in demand, and there are lots of small places that barely have clean water. I got to see a lot of the countryside, but then he got shot. Sean falls into grateful silence. Mum got him back to Brookton, but everyone else got killed. Aunts, uncles, cousins, all gone. Anyway, you get the picture. It's not a unique tragedy, it's just mine. How are you holding up? He sighs. How about we just give each other some space, huh? Not like we need to be living in each other's pockets all the time. Okay. I thought we were getting along. Even said I was solid, like twice. Talk to you later, Sean. Yeah, at least we're behind walls again. That's a relief. I'm guessing I made a poor impression on all my companions? Her frown only deepens when she sees you. Yes? How'd you end up in Brookton? The question seems to age her an additional decade. We thought it'd be somewhere safe for John and I to live out our days. We've been lucky to reach the age we are, but we didn't want Sean to be stuck taking care of us when we couldn't take care of ourselves anymore. What have you got for sale? I'll sell some of these weapons and make some money. I can't actually give her pistol back. I wonder if that's an oversight. Bye. Keep your wits about you. Always happy to see you, mate. How are you holding up? Doing alright. Already had some discussion about helping out on the emu farm. How did you and Sarah meet? I was out looking for a wild jumbuck when I heard music. Not regular sitting around a fire pit strumming on a guitar music, but actual music, in the middle of nowhere. It took me a few days to work up the nerve to get closer, but as I walked up to the front door, that's when I heard her, singing. He closes his eyes. Took her longer than a few days to stop pointing a rifle at me. I just popped back every couple of weeks, bring her some meat or rags. One time I brought a ribbon for her hair. She looked at me and said, "What do I want with that?" Did that until her mother died. Then I proposed. I knew there wouldn't be room in her heart for me until then. As I recall, it was me who said, "I guess I ought to marry you." He chuckles. That last word will always be hers. Knew that the first day I met her, too. He smiles fondly at her, and her expression softens. And that's just fine by me. What have you got for trade? So the toolbox is new. Everyone's a tradie out here. The tools forever need replacing. And rope. They're great for tying your crap down during a sandstorm. I do want to buy the rope. Not sure if that'll come into play at all, but better safe than sorry. Bye. Too easy. Hello, love. Happy to see you. What do you do? I help things grow. Gardens, communities, opportunities. And of course, my daughter. She beams at Jess. She's turned out just right, don't you think? Bye. Be careful out there. I'm surprised how much animosity these people have towards me. I helped them get here, and I got them into the town, and I rescued a lot of them from Brookton as well. Wonder if that's bugged out.
Yeah?
Her tone is brusque. You have her full attention. What do you think makes someone a good leader? Her answer is immediate. Straight. I have a lot of that. Though I'm wondering if I should invest as much into it as I have been. It seems like this might be a more dialogue-heavy game, so maybe I should do some of the utility attributes instead. Could stand to toughen up a bit in that regard. I have like 12 strength. What are you going to do now that Brookton's gone? Same thing we've always done. Protect the people who pay us. We're not done being scouts because a place we protected got wiped off the map. Nah, El, you gotta spin it. Merredin got wiped out because we weren't there. Yeah. You think the people who stayed behind will be safe at Bally Bally Hall? Should be. They stay smart and keep their heads down. We should repair the radio, but I get them back on the air in case they need us. So, tell me about yourself. Yeah, nah. Okay. Don't think I needed that translated, but thank you. How are you holding up? Fine. She stares at you, but doesn't say anything else. Bye.
Ta.
Hey. She looks you up and down. You good? It's the first one to ask me. What do you think makes someone a good leader? It's someone people want to follow, isn't it? Got what they want, they'll do what you want. Simple. I don't know what you're selling. I don't know if I want a bar of it. See? Simple. How are you and Ella doing? Going along great. She even lets me pay her out a bit without getting mean. So, tell me about yourself. She snorts. Me? I'm a bloody open book. I like fighting and drinking and screwing. I don't really care who with. Some people don't like that. I don't care. Give me a free pint and a swag, and I'm yours. Could have a few more standards, you know. But then I'd be perfect. You'd have nothing to complain about. Ella turns her laugh into a cough. How are you holding up? She rolls her eyes. Screw off. That's how I'm doing. Hey, bye. Spits. Jeez Louise. Alright. I'll go make some new friends then. How's it? I can taste the dust. Feel it in my eyes. I'll be peeing it soon. Alright, I guess we'll go this way first. Clear out the corner. A bag of dollars. Of dollary dues. I got 25 experience for that. Clicking on the pig. I wouldn't mind these icons going away after you loot them because I can see that being hard to keep track of later. I kept a mental note of it in Brookton, but this area's a little bigger. Better not kick these over, unless you want a visit from the monochrome blokes. Same guy? Yeah, that's a dust guy. The dust dude. That's what I'll call him. Can't see his hat. Let me try unequipping it, re-equipping it. Hunters and collectors. I won't go into any buildings yet. Let's explore the streets first. I'll loop around this house first. Just taking a block at a time. Menzies' house. I don't know why we have to have elections. Hello, vendor. Weapons and armor. Don't have enough money for any of those, but we can sell the junk that we have. This is considered junk, but I feel like the seeds could have come up at some point. I'm going to sell them, though. These all cross the same, but they have different effects. We have the green bulletproof vest. We'll take a bullet for you, literally. Grants +1 strength and +10 hit points. And this one grants intelligence and hit points, and this one is awareness and hit points. Also, I'm not sure if you get to use your companion's stats for skill checks. Also, they're not at your party all the time, so I may have to invest into other attributes besides strength. Also, I was wrong. I have 13 strength, not 12. So I may start putting more points into charisma as my utility stat. I'm not voting for Hogan. I'm voting against Angela. I was saying to the sun to stop and think. Come over and have a drink. Sorry, come on over and have a drink. Thirsty? Come over here and get stuck into it. Thanks for the invite, but I've got bigger fish to fry. This is Mick and Angela. I don't need to talk to them quite yet. Higher prices are going up again. I'm supposed to run a business. Angela's promised to fix it so we can communicate with others. This one isn't big enough for a game of cricket. Alright, can't talk to that guy. I gave it my best shot. Hey, some copper wiring. That keeps the lights on back home. And it's often worth a pretty penny. We can't go... You go back here? Yeah, just walk through the fence. Don't let me go over here, though. I'll cloud that fog of war, but it won't let me. Rich Craigie. His face is painted with dirt, accentuating his hollow cheeks and tired eyes. Name's Rich Craigie, mate. What brings you here? What's it like being an indentured servant? He breaks out into a fit of laughter. Bloody terrible. What do you do around here? He gestures to the sheep grazing nearby. I take care of these buggers. I swear they crap more than they breathe. What did you do before Merredin? I was a surveyor. Roamed West Oss with a map and my Tucker bag cat Milo. Best years of my life those were. His blissful smile droops. Milo got sick, and all the medicine in the world couldn't save him. He shakily continues. Surveying just wasn't the same without my little boy, so I quit. He rubs his eyes. Milo was a good cat. I'm sorry about Milo. He gives you a thin smile. Thanks. It's hard burying him. But one day at a time, right? I'd like to see what you have in stock. A yellow safety vest. A tradie's best friend, +1 resolve, and +10 hit points. Cheers. Snip snip, sheep dip. A manure. Gotta love that earthy smell. Alright, bye. No wazes. Poor Milo. The slim man stands surrounded by a welter of beer bottles, and he waves another one around to punctuate his words. Sounds like he's had a gutful and was worked up, and has worked up a head of steam. Well, who are you, and what do you want from me, you blow-in? You don't need to be so hostile, mate. He smirks. Mate, I've worked for Governor Smith for years. I'm good friends with the owners of this pub, to help keep the peace in Meridan. You're some trash that blew in off the road. I'm gonna ask if you could please, politely, screw off. For real. Sorry, for real. I'm drinking here. He turns away from you, his eyes scanning the beer garden for abandoned drinks. Never mind, I'll leave you to it. Yeah, alright. He looks around the beer garden, then back down into his glass. What are you looking at? None of your business. Far as that away, mate? Not up for conversation right now, mate. It's beer o'clock for me. I heard Antonio went out to help the other siders, and came back with something nasty. Ian...
Get moving, mate.
Fine. Looking for my old Fallout companion. Need more visitors. Helps local business. The sun-kept man is slouched next to the bar, turning his pint glass around between his hands. His eyes are rimmed with red, but doesn't have the cloying smell of other drunks. His presence gives the impression of someone unwillingly displaced. He looks up and catches your eye. But look who it is, Miss Smith's favorite queue jumpers. He seems to fight some internal struggle before he turns to face you fully and holds out his hand. Connor McCabe, here from Westonia, trying to convince Merredin that maybe our town's worth saving. Mate, you sound like you know what's coming for us. Meridan has to help us. Will you stand up with me and demand to be heard? I'll see what I can do. Meridan's in a tough spot, and might not be able to help. Anything you can do will be a huge help. Deeply appreciated. He turns back to his drink, head down. I come to share a drink and some misery, or am I drinking with the flies? What's happening in Westonia? This fellow came to the gates, proclaiming a new era of prosperity if we'd only team up with some jerks from out east. He takes a long drink. He said it was that or face the consequences. We told him, whatever decision we make it together. Oldies and infants too. He said we had a week to decide, then he'd be back. The town council decided something fishy was going on, and sent me to Meridan to beg for more guns at the very least. We're running out of time, but what else can I do? He shakes his head. Maybe people's minds will be clearer after this darn debate. Open them up to listening. I'll tell you what's happening in Westonia again. We're not a big town, not big enough to stand against a decent-sized raiding crew. They sent me here to beg for help from Meridan. He runs an exhausted hand over his face. At this point, I don't even know if I'd make it back in time to make a difference. The man who came to Westonia, what's his name? James Wakefield. He squints, remembering. Wakefield sounds right. I don't think he was a James. He shrugs. I wasn't part of the welcoming committee, you know? Just heard what I could from a fair ways back. I didn't even know it was anything big till the silence hit. By then he was pretty much done. Alright, see you later. He's already staring down into his glass again, lost in thought or fear. This well-dressed woman smiles easily, but there's a shrewdness in her eyes that belies her friendly welcome. A hint of redness around her eyes and nose suggests that she's not above sampling her own wares while on the job. Welcome to the Flaming Gala, mate. I'm Holly Bell, and I'll be your host. Mainly because I'm the manager and sole employee. Couple of house rules before I take your order. First, no credit, no tab, no exceptions. Even the governor doesn't drink for free. Second, keep the politics to a minimum. This place is neutral. No fights, no skullduggery. Clear? What do you mean it's neutral? Meridan's big, but it's not so big that we've got a ton of choices in our watering holes. Everyone needs a place to unwind, so that's the rule. Leave your rubbish at the door, or drink alone at home. Only exception to the no politics rule is when there's a meeting here. But at that point, I'm a resident, not serving. So what are you having? What if I can't pay? Then you don't drink. Easy. No credit, no fights, no skullduggery. Got it. Great. What do you have then? What have you got? Got some local beers, which aren't too bad. Terps, if you want to get messed up and don't care about living too much longer. Fermented tea, which is better than it sounds. Got any news for me? Everyone's talking about the election, how some of the first indentured servants might be released from their contracts soon. I'll stay out of all that. In this line of work, having an opinion's bad for business. Can't afford to anger my customers. Still, lots more ciders than usual has been piling up outside. And oh, she lowers her voice and nods towards the shabbily dressed agitator from outside the walls. That sad sack from Westonia breezed in here, talking to anyone who'll listen about how his city needs help. Like we don't have our own problems, just because we're smart enough to build walls that have lasted more than 20 years. Working here, what do you do for fun? She laughs. This is what I do for fun. Everyone in town comes here. I get to make them laugh, and they go home happier than when they came in. If I'm lucky, I'll do this till I die. Why do you call this place the Flaming Gala? Legend has it a gala got dunked in terps and flew too near a candle, burning the original pub down. She nods sagely at you. You're not sure if she's having a go or not. How do you come up with those rules you mentioned? Too many barter crews coming through and skipping their bills, and cleaning up after bar fights. You may have noticed there's not a lot of glass factories around these days. I have to reuse everything I can. Why are there more ciders than normal? From what I hear, raiders, like the ones that took out your lot, are popping up all over the place. Then there's droughts, storms, mutants. It's a real crap show. People need security if they're going to do more than survive. Not sure how they think coming to Meridan's going to help, but that discussion starts to get into angering the regulars territory, so it's banned. For you, me, and everyone else. I met Westonia rep outside the walls. Real charmer. From what I hear, his town got a threat. The you're with us or against us type. He wants Meridan's help to fight him. He shrugs. I don't know that we've got the manpower to do anything, or the will to help even if we could. I thank God every day that I'm not in charge of more than a few drunks and figuring out which kettle's got the least dents for my next batch of beer. Mutants, really? Yeah. You seen the wombat near the marketplace? She shakes her head. That's the baby. Mama's around here somewhere. You got anything to trade? Chicken pie. Succulent chicken and creamy sauce with some carrots. Restore 6 hit points and 5 initiative. Sausage roll. Ground meat and pastry. Nothing fancy but gets the job done. Restore 6 hit points. A beef pie. I think we've seen this before, right? Maybe not. A slow-cooked, mouth-watering, succulent beef wrapped in mind-altering pastry. Restores 12 hit points and grants +2 initiative. Lamingtons. A delicious treat and national treasure. It was a sponge cake dipped in chocolate and covered with desiccated coconut. Now each region has their own spin depending on available ingredients. National Lamington Day is still observed on 21st July, so mark your calendars. Restores 5 hit points. And bye. Cheers, mate. Alright, check in with this guy, and then I think we'll wrap it up and continue around Merredin next time. Made a pretty good dent in it. We went this way, looked up here, did all this, around the Menzies' house. Yeah, not too bad. Welcome. It's good to see fresh faces. Everything just keeps costing more. Oh, that's the gala right there. Pretty cool sign. Alright, I'm gonna call it here, and next time we'll continue around Meridan. I'm gonna try and explore everything before we speak to Mick and Angela, and before we enter any buildings. That's the current plan. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.